Hey there YouTube. So in this segment I wanted to go over the Form 1099 NEC for non-employee compensation. This form is pretty new within the last 2 years or so. It's a spin-off of the Form 1099 miscellaneous. Right, so if we look at the 1099 miscellaneous, this form looks a little more familiar to everybody. It's a form that was used to report rents, royalties, other income, payments to attorneys, and there was formerly a field here for payments to independent contractors, right? And so the IRS, because they got the vast majority of these 1099 MIS forms were for payments to non-employees or to independent contractors, and so they spun off their own version of this to make it a little simpler for everybody. And now we have the 1099 NEC. So what is this? Where do you report it? So if you're an independent contractor and you're working for a company and you're being paid, you'll receive non-employee compensation free of withholding tax, and it's going to be reported on this form. So who gets reported? If you're an individual taxpayer and you make more than $600 during the year from this one company, they have to report that income on a 1099 NEC. Okay, the only exception to this is if you're a corporate entity. So if you're a corporation that's a C Corp or an S Corporation, the payer is exempt from having to report the earnings to you. So in this example, Fake Company Inc., let's say I was structured as an S Corporation and I did $15,000 worth of consulting work for Fake Company Inc. When I give them my Form W-9 and it shows that I'm an S Corp, they can still pay me the $15,000 free of withholding tax, but they don't have to report it on a 1099 NEC. That's the one exemption for payees or recipients that are corporate entities. Okay. Everybody else is going to get one of these. So if you're an individual taxpayer and you're receiving this income, you're going to get a 1099 NEC. If you're a partnership, you'll get it as well. So what are the fields here, right? Obviously, we have the payer's name, so the company you're working for, and then your recipient name will be down here. So this will be either you as an individual, or maybe if you're a partnership, let's say you're an LLC partnership, you'll have the partnership name and address down here, and the partnership's tax ID number, EIN, in the recipient field. And then the amount of compensation you were paid during the year for whatever project it was that you were involved in. So once you receive this income, what do you do with it? Well, let's look at an example where you're an individual. Okay, so we look at a 1040 here. John Smith, he lives in St. Pete, fake street address, obviously just for purposes of this example. But John Smith is a contractor and he earned money from this company here, Fake Company Inc., $15,000. Well, if John Smith is earning non-employee compensation, then it means that he's self-employed, right? He's an independent contractor, he's self-employed. So the earnings from this project are reported on a Schedule C that's attached to his tax return. So if we go down to Schedule C, profit or loss from business, John Smith here, he's a consultant. There's his social security number, and there are the $15,000 in wages earned as an independent contractor. Now, because he is an independent contractor, he can report this income and then deduct all ordinary and necessary expenses in connection with that job, right? So if he incurred $500 for the advertising costs, he can put that down there, $500 for the supplies, and then he paid a lawyer $2,500 during the year for whatever projects might have come up. The amount of net profit or loss is what's ultimately transferred to his 1040 and he pays tax on. So this is how you report the 1099 NEC. If you were the recipient and you're a partnership, obviously it would be reported a little differently. You would report the income on your 1065 tax return for the partnership, and then the income would ultimately flow through to the partners on their Schedule K1. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it. 1099 NEC. This is a spin-off from the 1099 miscellaneous, but at the end of the day, the tax issues are the same. It's just different reporting. So if you earn non-employee compensation, you're generally an independent contractor and you're self-employed, or if it's paid into an entity, then it's just compensation paid to an entity for services rendered. So, okay, so that covers all of it. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I'm happy to answer any questions that are posted. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate it. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon.